Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Sri Matre Namaha, Sabhaye Namaha. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Pitham, Shankaracharya, Sri Shankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamvaru, on behalf of Sri Kamakoti Bhakti Kendra, it is my honor and blessing to be welcoming you all to yet another great lecture series in English on LALITHA SAHASRANAMA by Sri P.R. Kannan sir, who is a repository of Vedic knowledge. We also have Srimati Padma Rajagopalan Mami joining us in this beautiful journey for rendering the shlokas of LALITHA Sahasranamam with her melodious voice, while Kannan sir explains the shlokas verse after the other. Namaskaram Kannan sir and Padma Mami. I'm really honored to be introducing these great personalities who always have been supporting us in sharing their knowledge and wisdom. Many of you have already known Kannan sir and have tasted the Gnanamritam of Mukha Panchasati through his lecture series, English lecture series in Mukha Panchasati, and the recent his lecture on Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha on the eve of Prana Pratishtha at Ayodhya of Ramlalla. Prana Pratishtha of Ramlalla at Ayodhya. A multifaceted personality, Sri P.R. Kannan sir is a genius IITian. He holds an MTech degree from IIT Chennai and holds a PG diploma from Holland. He worked in many reputed organizations in India and abroad. Sri Kannan sir has very keen interest in our Sanatana Dharma, and he is one of the sought-after speakers on various ancient scriptures and religious topics in English, both as well as Tamil, on various platforms. Sri Kannan sir, he is also the editor of spiritual magazine Dilip, started at the instance of Sri Mahaswami of Kanchi, published from Mumbai. Sri Kannanji delivers discourses on various religious topics, conducted online lectures on Shankara Stotra Makaranda for about 6 months. Adi Shankara Stotra's lecture series for 1 month. Mukha Panchasati lecture series and on the cultural history of Kashmir, including Rajatarangani. He has also contributed articles to various reputed religious magazines. With the divine blessings and directives from the Shankaracharya Guru Parampara of Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Bhakti, he authored about 40 books, including writings and translations, which include Shankara Stotra Makaranda, lecture notes of select Shankara Stotras, commentaries on Sri Rudram and Chamakam, Sri Guru Bhujanga Stotram, Adi Shankara Ashtotra Satanamavali, Amaranatha Mahatyam, Sripada Saptati, Lalita Trisati, Kanchi Mahima, Pitrukarya, a compendium of important rules, Shruti Mukta Phalam, Srimad Ramayana Dharma Sangraham, commentaries of Ashtapadis, and many others. Sri Kannanji was also awarded the titles Jagadguru Seva Ratnam and Upanyasa Tilakam. We welcome you, sir. And also to introduce our Saraswati Swarupa, Padma Mami, briefly, Srimati Padma Rajagopalan Garu is from Kanchipuram. She is the daughter of Adiyapalam Sri Ramakrishna Dikshitar, who was a renowned Sanskrit scholar and had served the Srimat during the times of 68th, 69th, and 70th Acharyas of Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Bhakti. She is well versed in Sanskrit and music and has been taking shloka classes for children, adolescents, and housewives for the past 2 decades. Her masterpieces include Mukha Panchasati, Saundarya Lahari, and Shivananda Lahari. She dedicated her life, her expertise, and knowledge to her father and her guru, Mrs. Rama Ramakrishnan. In addition to tutoring people as per Sri Periva's guidance from across Indian metros, many people from around the world connect to her for learning these treasures. We welcome you, Mami. Dear Astikas, it is time for us to lend our ears to this eloquent speaker, Kannan sir, in English, the meaning of LALITHA Sahasranamam in English, a 1,000-word hymn on our Universal Mother. I request Kannan sir to take over. Thank you, sir.
Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashiva Samarambham शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते. Today we are starting on a new series of lectures on LALITHA SAHASRANAMA. SRI KAMAKOTI BHAKTI KENDRA of US has organized this lecture series. They went and requested our Acharya Swamiji, who has blessed this lecture series, as he blessed the previous lecture series on Mukha Panchashati, Vande Gurur Mandalam, etc. Now, it's indeed my pleasure to be associated with this lecture series on LALITHA Sahasranamam. LALITHA Sahasranamam is a part of Brahmanda Puranam, which has a section called Lalita Upakhyanam, Lalita Upakhyanam, that is story of Lalita. It goes into 40 chapters, this Lalita Upakhyanam. And it is in the form of a conversation between Sri Hayagriva and sage Agastya. All of it is about Lalita's glory, Devi Lalita's glory. And this Lalita Upakhyanam is followed by LALITHA SAHASRANAMAM, which we are now going to look at, and a few other Sahasranamams of Varahi, Shamala Devi, etc., Panchami Stavam, Kavarajam, and Lalita Trishati also. Now, Hayagriva himself is an incarnation of Vishnu who came into being because of Devi's grace. This story is told in detail in Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. After, I'll refer to it briefly. After waging a long battle with Asuras, Vishnu became tired and retired in a corner, unknown to anybody. And he sat there with his Sharanga bow supporting his skin, and he slept off because of his exhaustion. And after some time, he sort of stooped on this Sharanga bow, and the Sharanga bow cut off his head. He lost his head. And that was the time when Devendra, Brahma, and others were looking for him for presiding over a yaga. So they went and searched for him everywhere. Finally, they located him here, and they were shocked because such a great sound, this calamity had happened. They were shocked. Then Brihaspati advised Devendra to pray to Devi. So all the Vedas who had assembled there, Murtimat Devas, they prayed to Devi. Devi said, this is all with a purpose. His head has been lost in the ocean. Go and bring a horse's head and attach it. Get it done through Vishwakarma. That was done, and then immediately Hayagriva came into being. This is the story. So this was entirely due to Devi's grace that Hayagriva came into being, and also he got initiated into Devi's knowledge by Devi directly. Now this is a conversation, Lalita Upakhyanam is a conversation between that Hayagriva and sage Agastya. And who is Agastya? Agastya is one of the 12 Devi Upasakas. Manushchandra Kuberascha, Lopa Mudra cha Manmathaha, Agastira Surjascha, Indraskanda Shivastatha, Krodha Bhatta Rako Devyaha, Dvadashami Upasakaha. These are the 12 great Upasakas of Devi. Manu, Chandra, Kubera, Lopa Mudra, who is the wife of Agastya, Manmatha, then Agastya himself, then Agni, Surya, Devendra, Skanda, that is Subramanya, Shiva himself, then lastly, Durvasa, who is known as Krodha Bhattaraka. Now, this conversation starts with prayer of Agastya to Hayagriva, requesting for stories explaining the glory of Devi. That is how it starts. Then he starts explaining Lalita Upakhyanam. In Lalita Upakhyanam, the Hayagriva starts with the story of how Bhandasura came into being. This Bandasura came into being from the ashes of Manmatha. When Manmatha was reduced to ashes by Shiva's third eye, the Devas headed by Indra, they made the ashes into a form of a human being. Then they requested Shiva to give life to that assembly of ashes. Then Shiva looked at those ashes, and there came out an Asura, Bandasura. And Bandasura did intense tapas and prayed to Shiva and got, as usual, some boons, and then he started torturing Devas, etc., etc. The usual story. Then the time came for Bandasura's destruction, and Devi came into being. How she came into being? Lalita Parameshwari. Then, because Devas were very much feeling miserable, they prayed to Devi. At that time, Devi said, "You conduct a yaga." That is why she is known as Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. That yaga in which there was a Chidagni, there was a Agni Kunda. From that Agni Kunda came Lalita Parameshwari. And they was prayed to her, and then she agreed that she would kill Bandasura. And because she, as a woman, she wanted to be, Brahma and other devas wanted her to be coronated. And during Pattabhishekam, during coronation, a woman cannot be coronated on her own. So Brahma decided that there should be a Purusha along with her. Then who is the Purusha? Then they said Shiva should be the person. Then they prayed to Shiva. Then Shiva came there as Kameshwara. Lalita became Kameshwari. So Kameshwari's marriage takes place. Then Kameshwari becomes Maharajni. She gets coronated. Pattabhishekam is done. Then she goes to war, and then Bandasura is annihilated. This is the story of Bandasura. After the story of Bandasura, Lalitopakhyanam goes into 7 khandas, explaining the greatness of Devi. First is Mantra Khandam. Mantra Khandam explains the greatness of Panchadashakshari mantra, the greatest mantra of Devi. Next only to Shodashi. Then goes Nyasa Khandam. Nyasa Khandam, there are Shodha Nyasas, 6 Nyasas associated with Devi worship. Then comes Puja Khandam. Puja Khandam talks about Antaryagam, Bahiryagam, and Mahayagam. I had occasion to refer to this Antaryagam, Bahiryagam, etc. during my lectures on Saundarya Lahari recently. Antaryagam refers to the mental worship of Devi, generally associated with Kundalini rising from Mooladhara Chakra going up to Sahasrara. Whereas Bahiryagam refers to generally worshipping in a Sri Chakra, Meru or Sri Chakra Yantra. Now, Mahayagam is the outer worship combined with the mental worship. Then comes Purashkarana Khandam. Purashkarana Khandam is about the Japa part, how Japa should be done, Japa Lakshanam. Then Homa Khandam, where Homa Vidhanam is prescribed. Then Rahasya Khandam, very important. In Rahasya Khandam, Hayagriva explains to Agastya that what is known as Sri Vidya, the Sri Vidya mantra, the Panchadashakshari mantra, Sri Chakra, in which she is invoked, and the person who is invoked, the deity who is invoked, that is Sri Devi, and the Guru who initiates you into the Sri Vidya mantra, and the Sadhaka who is being initiated. That means how many people? 5. Sri Vidya, Sri Chakra, Sri Devi, Guru, and Sadhaka. All the 5 are one and the same. This identity is established in Rahasya Khandam. That is the Rahasyam. Unless you go up to that stage, you will not understand this identity. That is why he is explaining it in detail. Then this is followed by Stotra Khandam. In Stotra Khandam, there are Sahasranamams of Mantrini Devi, Dandini Devi, Lalita Stavarajam. Many stotras are there, sung by Brahma and other devas. Many of them are there. Then this brings us to the end of Lalitopakhyanam. Then Agastya becomes restless. That is how this Purva Bhaga of Lalita Sahasranamam starts at this point. He says, Ashwana Mahabuddhe Sarvashastra Visharada Kathitam Lalita Devyaha Charitam Paramadbhatam. He calls Hayagriva Ashwanana nicely. Mahabuddhe Sarvashastra Visharada. You have explained to me the very beautiful, very wonderful story of Lalita Devi. You have told me how she came into being from the Yagakunda performed by Devendra, how she was coronated, Pattabhishekam, how Sri Puram was constructed, how Panchadishakshari mantra, all that, whatever we saw just now, all those 7 khandas, all that you have explained. Now, you have not explained to me something which is very important, that is LALITHA SAHASRANAMA. Do you consider that I am not fit enough to receive that instruction, or is there any other reason? This is the question put to Hayagriva by Agastya. Then Hayagriva replies, saying, yes, it is very secret. Rahasyamiti matvaham noktavan stena chanyatha. Because it is secret, I did not unveil that to you. But since you are a bhakta of Devi and since you have asked for it, see, 2 reasons he is giving. You are a bhakta and you have asked for it. Now, he is also, this has been explained very nicely in commentaries. There are other arguments given by Agastya, I am not going into them, to which Hayagriva replies. The commentary says that this LALITHA SAHASRANAMA and such esoteric mantras should be taught only to those who have Shraddha, who have Bhakti, number 1. And number 2, who have asked you for it. Now, a person who has Shraddha or Bhakti and who has not asked for it can also be taught, provided you are convinced that he is a deserving party, deserving student. But a person who has no Shraddha or no Bhakti, under no circumstances should be taught this. This is what Hayagriva goes at pains to explain. Then, he goes into the a preliminary introduction of LALITHA SAHASRANAMA here at this point. Hayagriva, he says, Puranam Shri Puramiva Shaktinam Lalita Yatha Shri Vidyo Pathakanam Chet Yatha Devo Varashivaha Tatha Nama Sahasreshu Varametat Prakirtitam. Puranam Shri Puramiva. There are many cities being described in Purana, but nothing like Sri Puram. Similarly, there are many Shaktis, but there is nobody like Lalita Devi. There are many Sri Vidya Upasakas, devotees of Sri Vidya, but nobody like Shiva. Similarly, there are many stotras of Devi, but this is the best. LALITHA SAHASRANAMA is the best. Like this he starts. Sri Matuhu Priti Tasmatu Anisham Kirti Edidam. So because of that reason, you should chant this LALITHA SAHASRANAMA every day for the pleasure of Sri Mata. How this LALITHA SAHASRANAMA came into being, he explains, Hayagriva explains. Puraji Lalita Devi Bhaktanam Hitakam Yaya Vagdevi Vashini Mukshaha Samahu Yidam Abravit. Bhaktanam Hitakam Yaya, for blessing devotees. Lalita Devi called 8 Vagdevis, Vashini and others. These names we saw earlier also in one of our earlier lectures. And I'll come back to it later. Vaishini, Modini, etc. There are 8 names. Now, these 8 Vagdevis were called by Lalita Devi, and she gave them an instruction. Kurudham Ankitam Stotram Mama Nama Sahasrakaihi Yena Bhakte Sturaya Me Sadhya Priti Parabhavet. You compose a stotra containing 1000 names of mine. And by chanting the stotra, when devotees chant the stotra, I should become pleased. This is the condition. This is how the stotra should be composed. Ityajñapta vacho devyaha Shri Devya Lalitambaya Sahasyair Namabhir Divyaihi Chakrustotram Anuttamam. After all, these Vagdevis are also Amshas of Lalita Devi only. So they were able to compose this Lalita Sahasranamam quickly. Tataprovacha Lalita Sadasyan Devata Gunan Mamajnayeva Vagdevyah Chakrustotram Anuttamam. Then she called all the Devatas. She said, because of my instruction, this stotra has been composed by Vagdevis. Satpatadvam Tada Yuyam Stotram Matpriti Vriddhaye. So please go through this, chant this stotra every day for increasing my happiness, my pleasure. pravartayadvam bhakteshu mama nama sahasrakam. Also, propagate this stotra among my devotees. This was the instruction. So that is how Lalita Sahasranamam comes into being. This is the Purva Bhaga. Now, many Sahasranamams also have followed this, as I said, Varahi, Shamla Devi, etc., after Lalita Sahasranamam. But of all Devi Sahasranamam, as I said earlier, we have Mantrini, Dandini Sahasranamams also, part of Lalita Upadhyanam. But of all Devi Sahasranamams, Lalita Sahasranamam has been considered the best by all the sages. Now, there are many commentaries written on this Lalita Sahasranama. Many. At least 4 are mentioned by Vidwans. And of them, the best is Bhaskara Raya's commentary. Now, Bhaskara Raya is a sage who was born in Maharashtra and shifted to Tamil Nadu, and he enjoyed the patronage of the Maratha kings of Tanjavur, who gave him a village called Bhaskara Rajapuram near Kumbakonam. The village was given to him in his honor, and Bhaskara Raya spent his last days in Tiruvadai Marudur in Madhyarjuna Kshetra, which was referred to by our Acharya Swamiji very recently. When he referred to Mahalinga Swami showing his hand outside, from outside his lingam and saying Advaitam Satyam. So that was the place of Mahalingeshwara Swami, Tiruvadai Marudur. So that is where he spent his last days, and a lot of stories are associated with his greatness. Now, this Bhaskara Raya has written a very beautiful commentary on Lalita Sahasranamam, and he refers to what is known as Chalakshara Sutram. Now, this Chalakshara Sutram gives guidance on how to split the words. Now, there are combined words in Lalita Sahasranam. Now, how to split, where to split, and how to split. On this guidance is being given by Chalakshara Sutram. And the Chalakshara Sutram itself has been explained by way of Paribhasha Sutras. Paribhasha Sutras by a saint called Nrisimhananda Yajwa. This Nrisimhananda Yajwa was the Sri Vidya Guru of Bhaskara Raya. So that Guru himself has explained in Paribhasha Sutras. So he is telling very clearly how each name should be interpreted, where the split should happen, how it should be interpreted. So on that basis, Bhaskara Raya has done the split, and he finds that all these 1,000 names start with 32 aksharas, 32 letters of Sanskrit alphabet. As you know, there are 50 letters in Sanskrit alphabet, of which 32 are the starting letters for these 1,000 names. And Bhaskara Raya is at pains to explain that all the names are mantras. That is why Lalita Sahasranamam is a mantra shastra. See, apparent meaning is what we are going to see now. We are not going to see the mantra aspect of it, because that is esoteric. Now, each name actually refers to a mantra, like we saw in Saundarya Lahari. Each shloka refers to a bija mantra, which is not obvious from the reading of the shloka. That has been explained by great commentators. Similarly, Bhaskara also has explained that each nama refers to a bija mantra of Lalita Devi. The whole Lalita Sahasranamam is actually a mantra shastra, and the whole of Sahasranamam can be treated as one mala mantram also, because each of it is a mantra. It can be treated as a mala mantram. Now, what are the subjects covered in Lalita Sahasranamam? Apart from the general, the constant theme of bhakti, Mantra Shastra is covered, which is Sri Vidya. Then Yoga Shastra is covered, Kundalini Yoga is covered, and on the top of it, Advaita Vedanta is covered. Now, there is one speciality about Lalita Sahasranamam which is being expounded by many Vidwans, and that is, this is perhaps the only Sahasranamam where there are no Stobha words, that means meaningless words. In other Sahasranamams, you will find, like in between, you will find a cha, you will find a y, etc. No, you will not find a cha, you will not find a y in Lalita Sahasranamam. That is the greatness of this. And no repetition of words, no paunarukyam. In many Sahasranamams, you will find that words are repeated, and the commentators have been at pains to explain, give different meanings. Those words are repeated, they refer to different meanings. That is how they explain. But the fact remains that the words have been repeated. But here there are no words repeated. And well, there are many such glories of Lalitha Sahasranama enjoyed by many Vidwans. Now, coming back to those Vagdevis, the 8 Vagdevis who composed the Lalitha Sahasranama, I got the names now. Vashini, Kameshwari, Modini, Vimala, Aruna, Jaini, Sarveshwari, and Kaulini. These are the 8 Vagdevis. Actually, they are known as Vagdevis. Actually, they are the ones who were commanded to do this Lalitha Sahasranama, and they are actually Amshas of Lalitha Devi only. Now, we will start with the actual text of Lalitha Sahasranama. We will start with the 4 Dhyana Shlokas.
Start, Mama. Start. Srimate Namah. Sindhuraruna vigraham trinayanam manikyamulispurat taranayaka shekharam smitamukim apina vakshoruham panibhyam haripurna ratna chashakam raktotpalam bibhrati saumyam ratna ghatastha rakta charanam yayet param ambikam.
As all of us know, a Dhyana Shloka brings us the picture of the form of the deity on whom the Stotra is directed. So here, Lalita Devi's form is being beautifully, the picture is being beautifully brought to us so that our focus, our mental focus will be on that form. See, unless you have a mental focus on a form and a name, Nama and Rupa. Nama Rupa is essential for mental focus, because we have not reached a stage where we will be able to focus our mind on a Nirakara, Nirguna, Parabrahman. Yes, Jnanis can do that. But for ordinary people, you need a Nama and a Rupa. That is where the Dhyana Shloka comes handy for giving us the Nama and the Rupa. Sindhura Aruna Vigraham, Trinayanam, Manikya Maulisphurat, Tara Nayaka Shekharam. Sindhura Aruna Vigraham. She is pictured as red in color, because Devi has been pictured in different forms, in different colors. If you see Adi Shankara's Kamakshi Stotram, every stotra he gives a different color, including green, black, etc., etc., and he explains. So here in Lalita Devi, which color are we associating her with? That is Aruna, that is the red color. That is Udaya Surya. Udaya Surya is Aruna. Aruna is the charioteer of Surya, and he comes before Surya. So there is a red color in the sky when Arunodaya comes. So that is the Aruna Vigraha, similar to a Sindhura color. Sindhura, as you all know, is red in color. So this Aruna Vigraha is also similar to Sindhura. Sindhura Aruna Vigraham. Red colored like Sindhura. Trinayanam, having 3 eyes like Shiva. Surya, Chandra, and Agni are the 3 eyes of Shiva. Similarly here. Manikya Maulisphurat Taranayaka. Taranayaka is the Lord of stars, nakshatras, that is Chandra. So Devi has Chandra on her head, on the top of her crown. Mauli is the crown, and the crown is studded with Manikya, rubies. Manikya Mauli Spurati. On that crown is shining, Spurati, shining Chandra. Smitamukhim, Abhina Vakshoruham, Smitamukhim. Gentle smile, that is always the hallmark of Devi. Gentle smile is the hallmark of Devi. She is very compassionate. She looks at devotees with a smile and blesses the devotees. Apina Vakshoruham, with large, huge bosom. That is the place of milk, the milk of jnana for the devotees. So we should look to Devi for the milk of jnana. Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Bhaktotpalam Bibhrati. With her 2 hands, Alipurna Ratna Chashakam. In one hand, she is holding a cup, a gem-studded cup, Ratna Chashakam, a gem-studded cup which is full of madhu, honey, and on that madhu, because of its sweetness, there is a group of bees. Ali is bees. Ali Purna. It is covered with bees and it is full of that madhu. And another hand, she is holding Raktotphalam, red colored lotus flower. Raktotphalam Bibhrati. Bibhrati means holding. Saumyam. Saumya means very enchanting, very pleasing. Saumyam. Ratna Ghatastha Rakta Charanam Jayet Paramambikam. Ratna Ghatastha Rakta Charanam. Her feet are also red colored, like blood colored. Rakta Charanam. And where is she placing her feet? She is placing her feet on a Ratna Ghata, a pot, gem-studded pot. It can be interpreted in two ways. It is a gem-studded pot, and it is a pot holding Ratnas. It can be interpreted as Ratna Ghata can be a Ghata which is studded with Ratna or a Ghata holding Ratna. Both ways it is applicable because those are the Ratnas which she is holding for distributing among devotees. Now, Ratna should not be interpreted as gems. It should be interpreted as anything of value. Anything of value which we are seeking from Devi is what she is going to give us. So, Jayayate Param Ambikam, the supreme Ambika. There is no Shakti higher than Ambika. So, she is known as Param Ambikam, Adi Shakti, Parashakti, Adi Parashakti. These are the various names by which we call her. Ambika means mother. It is the mother element which we should always be focusing our attention on because the first name itself is Sri Mata, so we will go to that. So at that time we will know that mother element is the best for us. From the devotee's point of view, we should concentrate on the mother element. Dhyayate, that is how we should meditate. Sinduraruna Vigraham, Trinayanam, Manikya Spurate, Saranayaka Shekharam, Smitamukhim, Apina Vakshoruham, Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratna Ghatastha Rakta Charanam Jayet Paramambikam.
अरुणां करुणातरङ्गितक्षीं धृतपाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिभिरावृतां मयूकैः अहमित्येव विभावये भवानी.
Aruna is already we have seen red colored Devi. Karuna Tarangita Akshi, her eyes are full of compassion, waves of compassion, compassion coming in waves. Karuna Taranga, Taranga is waves. That means what? Every time you look at Devi, there is a different level of compassion. It comes in waves. The more devotion you show, the more compassion she shows. So, Karuna Tarangita Akshi, Dhrita Pasha Ankusha Pushpabana Chapam. Now, in the first shloka, we were told there are two hands in which she was holding two different objects. But here we are told there are four hands and she is holding four different objects, different from the previous ones. So that only shows that Devi's form is beyond description. She will come in this form or that form. In fact, there is a shloka in Devi Bhagavatam where when Devi appeared before Devas, to some Devas she appeared with 4 arms. To some other Devas she appeared with 32 arms. And so Devi Bhagavatam says, to some Devas she appeared as holding 1,000 arms, Sahasra Bahu. So this is not something to be doubted. This is something which should be appreciated, showing the glory of Devi. Dhrita Pasha Ankusha Pushpabana Chapam. One hand she is holding Pasha, another hand she is holding Ankusha. Ankusha means the gourd, Pasha means the rope, Pushpabana, the flower arrows. We are going to see all these in detail when we go to the Sahasranama names. Chapa means the bow, the Ikshukodanda. That is the Chapa, the bow. So these are the 4 items, 4 things she is holding in her 4 hands. Animadhibihi avrutam mayukhaihi. Mayukha means race. We have seen this in Saundara Lahari in one shloka. Adi Shankara explains that these 8 Ashtamaha Siddhi, 8 Mahasiddhis like Anima, etc., Anima, Mahima, etc., they are taking the form of Devis. They are taking the form of Devis. They come out from Lalita Devi in the form of race, Mayukhaihi. But After coming out, those rays take the form of 8 Ashtamaha Siddhi Devis, and they are acting as Dwarapalaki in the Sannidhi of Lalita Devi. They are acting as doorkeepers. This is what Adi Shankara explains in Saundar Lahari. Same is briefly mentioned here. Animadibihi Avritam Mayukaihi. She is surrounded by rays who are actually the 8 Ashtamaha Siddhis. Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. This is very important. For the devotee to get maximum benefit, he should identify Bhavani, that is Lalita Devi, as being present in himself, as not something present outside. Ahamityeva, I am Bhavani. That feeling he should entertain when he reads this Lalita Sahasranama Stotra. In fact, for any puja, this is required. Devo Devalaya Prokto. Jivo Deva Sanatanaha. This is the bhava which has been enjoined on any puja devotee. The body is the temple, and the jiva which is in the body is actually Parameshwara himself. So similarly, here we should entertain the notion that we are Bhavani. When we are reading the stotra, chanting the stotra, Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. Bhavanim Vibhavaye. You should meditate on Bhavani. In what, with what sense? Aham iti eva. Eva, that means it is enjoined on you. You should do only this way. Eva means only this way, not any other way. Which way? Aham iti. I am Bhavani. With that feeling, you should meditate on her. This is very important for getting the maximum benefit. If you think she is a third person sitting somewhere in Sripuram and then we are praying to her and then she is going to bless us, yes, she will bless us, no doubt. There is nothing wrong with that approach. But what is the better approach? The better approach is that she is seated right inside me. I am praying to Devi who is seated right in my heart, and she is going to bless me from my heart. Arunam Karunatarangitakshim Dhritapashankusha Pushpabanachapam Animadhiviravratam Mayukhaihi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. Next.
ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्तां विकसितवदनां पद्मपत्रायताक्षीं हेमाभां पीतवस्त्रां करकलितलसत् हेमपद्मां वराङ्गीं सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सततमभयतां भक्तनम्रां भवानीं श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुतां सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीम्.
Another beautiful dhyana shloka. Dhyayet, how we should meditate. Padmasanatham. She is sitting in Padmasana. Of course, it can be interpreted as sitting on a lotus, but better interpretation is she is sitting in Padmasana. There are many asanas in which people can sit. So one of the normal asanas is Padmasana. So she is seated in Padmasana. Vikasita Vadanam. And her face is like a fully blossomed lotus. Vikasita means blossomed. Fully blossomed lotus. Vikasita Vadanam. Padmapatrayat Akshim. Face is like fully blossomed lotus. And how are the eyes? Eyes are very long. Ayata. Very long, like lotus leaves. Padmapatra Ayata Akshim. Hemabham Pitavastram. This can be interpreted in two ways. The yellow garment which she is wearing, Pitavastra, is shining like gold, Hemabham. That is one interpretation. Another interpretation is Hemabham. She is herself shining like gold. Devi herself is shining like gold, and she is wearing a yellow garment. Pitavastram. Karakalita lasat Hemapadmam Varangim. Karakalita lasat Hemapadmam. She is holding in her hand a golden lotus. She is holding in her hand a golden lotus. Lasati, the golden lotus naturally is shining. Shining golden lotus is decorating her hand. Varangi, all her limbs are beautiful, excellent limbs. Sarva Alankara Yuktam. She is having all the decorations which one can think of. In fact, Shastras prescribe the best of decoration for women. Best of decoration. What are the best of decoration? What kind of earrings? What kind of nose pad? What kind of necklaces? What kind of Udyana? What kind of Kankanas? What kind of Angada? What kind of Nupura? Everything is prescribed in Shastras. So she is having all of them. Sarva Alankara Yuktam, Sarva Alankara Yuktam. Satatam Abhayadam. Here it is printed as Sakalam Abhayadam, but the better version is Satatam Abhayadam. Satatam means always. Abhayadam means showing her gesture of freedom from fear. She need not show by her hand the gesture of freedom from fear. It can be by her emotion. Satatam Abhayadam. By merely looking at Devi, you will lose all your fear. That is the meaning. Satatam Abhayadam. Always granting freedom from fear. That is, even by going to her, by approaching her, all your fears will disappear. Always. Satatam. Bhaktanam Ram Bhavani. She is Bhavani. Bhavani means consort of Bhava, consort of Shiva, one meaning. Second meaning is she is herself the Devi who creates. Bhava means create. Why Shiva is known as Bhava? Because he creates the universe. So here Devi creates the universe. So in fact, that is the first of the name. Sri Mata means creator. Bhaktanam Ram. And devotees go and pray to her. They bow down to her. Bhaktanam Ram Bhavani Sri Vidyam. She is actually Sri Vidya. Now Sri Vidya is the mantra. The Panchadashakshari mantra is known as Sri Vidya. She is the mantra and mantra is Devi. That is Sri Vidyam. Shantamurtyam. The Vigraha of peace. By looking at her, you will develop peace. Why we go to temple and look at Devas and Devis? Because we want to develop peace. Because our minds are agitated. We are tossed by several worries. Now we want to get rid of those worries, get rid of those agitations from our mind. So we go to temple and have darshan. Now that is why she is Shantamurti. Shanti is the most important virtue. Shanti is actually described in Bhagavad Gita as moksha itself. Ashantasya kutas sukham, Bhagavan asks in Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have Shanti, how can you be happy? How can you say you are comfortable? You cannot be comfortable if you don't have Shanti. This is the question raised by Bhagavan himself in Bhagavad Gita. So, by even having darshan of her, you will develop Shanti. Shantamurtim, Sakala Suranutam, worshipped by all devas, obviously. Sarva Sampat Pradatri. She is the bestower of all kinds of wealth. All kinds of wealth. Sarva Sampati. So wealth does not mean only cash, bank balance, a house or a car, etc., which normally is our understanding of wealth. Actually, wealth is anything which adds to the value of your life. It can be moksha. If moksha is what you are focused upon, and if moksha is going to add value to your life, in fact, that should be our aim. That is sampat. Moksha Lakshmi. There is Ashtalakshmi we have, isn't it? Santana Lakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi. So all of them are sampat only, various forms of sampat. And the final sampat is moksha. And she is going to give us that also if we pray to her. Dhyayet Padmasanastham Vikasita Vadanam Padmapatraya Dakshim Hemabham Pitavastram Karakalitalasath Hemapadmam Varangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Satatama Bhayadam Bhaktanam Ram Bhavani Sri Vidyam Shantamurtim Sakala Suranutam Sarva Sampat Pradatrim.
Asesha Janamohinim Arunamalyabu Aruna
Mami, it's not there, so you can continue, Mami.
Sakunkuma Vilepanam.
Sakunkuma Vilepanam Alikachumbikas Samantaditekshanam Shastarachapa Sankusham Asesha Janamodinim Arunamalya Bhushamburam Japa Kusuma Bhasuram Japavidau Smaretambikam.
Japavidhau Smaret Ambikam. How we should meditate on Devi during this japa of Lalitha Sahasranamam. This is the final guidance on Dhyanam. Sakunkuma Vilepanam. She is having Kunkuma Lepa on her body. That is already red in color. That is what is indicated. She is looking as if all over her body, Kunkuma has been applied. Sakunkuma Vilepanam. Alikachumbi Kasturikam. Alika means forehead. Her forehead is decorated by Kasturi, Kasturi Tilaka. Samanda Hasite Kshanam. Her eyes are showing Samanda Hasita. That is gentle smile. Gentle smile is coming out from her eyes, not from her mouth. Samanda Hasita Ikshanam. Sasharata Papasha Ankusham. This is already mentioned earlier that she is holding Pasha, Ankusha, and Shara, that is arrows, and Chapa, bow. Ashesha Jana Mohini. Who is there who is not enchanted by Devi's presence, by having darshan of Devi? No one. Ashesha. That means there is nobody who is not enchanted, who is not deluded. Mohini. Mohana is delusion. There is a sense of delusion when you have darshan of Devi. You become one with her. You cannot take your eyes off her. You cannot take your mind off her. That is Ashesha Jana Mohini. All people. Arunamalya Bhushambaram. She is having ornaments and also red color garlands. Arunamalya Bhusha Ambaram. Ambara means all over her body she is having different types of ornaments. Japa Kusuma Bhasuram. Japa Vidhau Smare Rambikam. She is shining. Bhasuram means she is shining. Like what? Like Japa flower. Like Japa flower. The red colored Japa flower. Japa Kusuma Bhasuram. Japa Vidhau Smaret Ambikam. This red color is mentioned again and again. First it was mentioned as Aruna. Then it is mentioned as Sakumkuma Vilepanam. Then it is mentioned as Japa Kusuma Bhasuram. Why red color is coming for repeated mention? Because red color is an indication of compassion. Poets, Vidwans associate red color with compassion. That is why red color is mentioned repeatedly. So we are looking to her for compassion because we know that we are not qualified to receive her blessings, but we are looking only to her compassion for receiving her blessings. So that is being mentioned in this form. Sakunkuma Vilepanam, Alikachumbi Kasturikam, Samandahasite Kshanam, Kasharata Papashankusham, Ashesha Jana Mohinim, Arunamalya Bhushambaram, Japa Kusuma Bhasuram, Japa Vidhau Smare Dambikam. Now we go to the LALITHA SAHASRANAMA Stotra itself.
lines, Mama. Om Shri Matre Namaha. श्रीमाता श्री महाराजी श्रीमत् सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुंड संभूता देव कार्य समुद्यता.
The first, there are 1,000 names. The first name is Shri Mata. The first three names, Shri Mata, Shri Maharajni, Srimat Simhasaneshwari. These three names refer to three main functions, that is creation, sustenance, and destruction of the universe. Seva is supposed to be doing Panchakrityas, Panchakritya Parayanaha. So out of those five, the three are mentioned here. The remaining two, that is Tirodhana and Anugraha, are covered in the remaining 997 names. All those 997 names are for the purpose of explaining Tirodhana and Anugraha only. The first three names only are referring to this creation, sustenance, and destruction of the universe. Now, first is creation of the universe. Sri Mata. She is the glorious mother of the universe. Sri refers to glory. Now, glory is something, Sri is something which can be interpreted in 1,000 ways. Now, the normal way in which we should interpret is the four Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. The four Purusharthas are Shri for us, that is the one which is Shreyas for us, that is the wealth for us, Aishwarya for us. These four. We should be after these four. And the two, Artha and Kama, are only for sustaining the body, not for any other purpose. Dharma and Moksha are for taking our soul towards Devi. So Dharma is supported by Artha and Kama. Artha and Kama on their own have no meaning. It should, they are Artha and Kama or secondary, subservient to Dharma. Dharma is the primary one. And with the help of Dharma, we approach Moksha. So this, all this knowledge, all this activity is guided by Sri Mata. That is why she is known as Sri Mata. She is the mother very compassionately, very kindly, she takes us on the path which will lead us to moksha. That is why she is not just ordinary mother. We have crores of mothers in this earth. We have ourselves had crores of mothers in our crores of janmas. Every janma we have had a mother. And in our future janmas also we will have a mother. Now those mothers are all, no doubt, very beautiful. They have all been very compassionate. They will be very compassionate. But that compassion fades into insignificance before the compassion of Devi. That is why she is known as Shri Mata. Now Shri has been interpreted in Veda as Veda itself. Ritas Samani Yajogumshi Sahi Shri Ramrita Satam. This is what Veda says. Ritas Samani Yajogumshi. The three Vedas, Rig Veda, Samaveda, and Yajurveda. Sahi Shrihi Amrita Satam. These Vedas are Amrita for virtuous people. And that is Shri. Sahi Shrihi Amrita Satam. For virtuous people, these Vedas, the Vedic knowledge is undying Shri, undying wealth. Shrihi Amrita, undying wealth. So Shri refers to Vedas and Parabrahma Swarupini. We are talking about Lalitha Parameshwari not as the consort of Shiva. This I explained in detail during my lectures on Saundarya Lahari. That is, Parabrahma Swarupini is different from Shiva Patni. Now, Kamakshi is the best example I had said at that time, because Kamakshi temple, the Kamakshi Vigraha whom we see, is not Shiva Patni Kamakshi, is Parabrahma Swarupini, because that Parashakti came out from that bila, from that cave, for the purpose of killing an asura called Bandhakasura, and then she stayed there at the request, at the prayer of Devas. That is Kamakshi. Then the other Kamakshi, generally known as Bangaru Kamakshi, actually is an emanation of that Kamakshi, and that Bangaru Kamakshi married Shiva. So though she is also known as Kamakshi, that Shiva Patni is different from the original Mula Kamakshi. So similarly, here we are talking about Parabrahma Maharshi Lalita Parameshwari. We are also going to talk about her being consort of Shiva. Yes, Kameshwara, Kameshwari. We just now saw it is going to come again. But that is an emanation from that original Parashakti. The emanation, the secondary form of that original Parashakti. So that original Parashakti, Parabrahma Swarupini, who is described in this first sloka, is actually Veda Swarupini. That is why she is known as Shri Mata, because it was she who taught Vedas to Brahma. Yo Brahmanam Vedadhati Purvam, Yo Ve Vedascha Prahinoti Tasmai. Veda says this. Who created Brahma and who taught Vedas to Brahma. That is Veda Swarupini Parameshwari, Parashakti. And on the top of all this, as far as ordinary devotees are concerned, she, like a compassionate mother, she gives us the milk of jnana, milk of knowledge, plus she is the remover of tapatraya, the three miseries. Because what is the benefit of a mother? Mother should give us nourishment, milk, food, and mother should also help us from obstacles, from difficulties. When we are faced with difficulties, mother should come to our help. That is what she does. So she gives us the milk of knowledge and she gives us the relief from tapatraya, adhyatmika, adi bhautika, and adi daivika. These are the three tapas which are constantly harassing the humans. Adhyatmika is something which is inborn, which is there with us, mental. Adi bhautika is coming from other living beings. Adi daivika is forces of nature, like lightning, like bhukampa, etc. So three types of miseries are always awaiting the human being, and mother is the one who is going to help us. Sri Maharajni, she is the empress of the universe who protects the universe. What is the meaning of empress? Not sitting in a throne that is coming there, Simhasaneshwari is coming. Okay, that is fine. But sitting in the throne is not enough. She should protect the universe, isn't it? The king and the queen, what is their main job? To protect the subjects. That is the aspect of protection, the sustenance, the second of the Pancha Krityas, who protects the universe. As Maharajni, she is Maharani, Maharajni. So because of that, she possesses the absolute power and authority to be able to give us the protection. See, you go to somebody for protection, for help, and if that person is himself powerless, he has no authority, what will he do? He will only sympathize with you, isn't it? Very often, we go and explain our misery to one of our friends who cannot do anything to help us, who can only sympathize. So what is the use of that? But here we have an empress who has all the power, all the authority to help us. So she is the protector of the universe. Srimat Simhasaneshwari. The Simhasana itself is Srimat, glorious. The glorious throne. Ishwari, who is occupying the glorious throne. Now, why it is known as Simhasana? Because of course, all the kings are generally seated on Simhasana, lion throne. There are two lions on both sides of the throne. Yes. Apart from that, in this particular case, Simhasana has got a special meaning because for Lalita Devi, her vehicle is lion. And what is that vehicle used for? For destroying the Asuras, isn't it? She rides the lion only for destroying the Asuras. So, Srimat Simhasaneshwari is a term which has been interpreted as pointing to destruction of the universe, destruction of Asuras during the normal time, destruction of the universe when the time comes for destruction. That is Simhasaneshwari. In fact, there are Vidwans who say that actually Simhasana means Himsasana, because in Sanskrit Vyakarana, there is a procedure of inverting the letters. So, though it is written as Simhasana, actually what is meant is Himsasana. So, the one which causes Himsa, causes violence, causes destruction to the universe. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. She is born out of the Chidagni Kunda. Now, why it is known as Chidagni Kunda? Normally, Yaga Kundas are known as Yaga Kundas only, where Agni is there. Agni Kunda is fine. But why Chidagni Kunda? Because that is where Lalita Devi herself is coming, emanating from that Agni Kunda. Naturally, if there is an Agni Kunda from which Lalita Devi herself emanates, it has to be only Chidagni. Chiti means knowledge. Sati, Chiti, Ananda, out of which Chiti is what is represented here, because Lalita herself is Chiti, and the Agni Kunda is also Chiti. Everything is Chiti. So nothing is different from Chiti. In fact, Indra constructed a very large Yaga Kunda at the behest of Devi herself. Devi herself told him to construct the Yaga Kunda and conduct the Yaga. Kundam yojana vistaram samyak kritva tushobhanam mahayaga vidhanena pranidhaya hutashanam. This is what Lalitopakhyana states. Haigrava tells this to Agastya in the previous part. So, Kundam yojana vistaram. One yojana is 13 kilometers. That is the size of that Kunda. From that Yaga Kunda, Lalita Devi appeared. Now, why it is known as Chidagni? Because it is only Jnana which can destroy karma. We have seen before. Jnanagnihi sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. Repeatedly, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. It is only Jnanagni which can reduce karma to ashes. So that is what Lalita Devi emanation is meant for. Because she is going to destroy Bhandasura and other Asura forces. In fact, Jnana stands for light, Agni, and ignorance stands for darkness in all our literature. So that is why Lalita Devi, who is Parabrahma Swarupini herself, appearing from the Chidagni Kunda. In fact, there is a beautiful shloka in one of the stotras. Antar nirantara nirindhanam edhamane mohandhakara paripandhini samvidagnav. This shloka is quoted by Bhaskar Raya in his commentary. Antar nirantara nirindhanam edhamane. For Agni, you always need a fuel, isn't it? Without fuel, there cannot be any nirindhanam. But here we have a very peculiar Agni which has no fuel. Where is that Agni? In your heart. In your heart is that Agni. Nirantaram, always that Agni is there. That is Parabrahma Swarupam. Mohandhakara paripandhini samvidagnav. That is that Samvit Agni, Chit Agni, the Jnana Agni. That Jnana Agni will destroy Moha Andhakara, the darkness of delusion. The Jnana Agni is the destroyer of the darkness of delusion, and it is there always burning brightly in our heart. Antar nirantara nirindhanam yadhamane. It is burning brightly without any external fuel. So that is the Chadagni. That is the Chadagni Kunda which Devendra established. And from there she appeared. Devakarya Samudyata. She came up. She appeared for what purpose? She appeared for the purpose of helping the Devas. Devakarya Samudyata. She was keen on helping the Devas. She was keen on helping the Devas, doing the work of Devas. Devakarya Samudyata. This is what Devi Durga Saptashati also says. Devanam karya siddhyartham avirbhavati sayada utpanneti tadaloke sa nityapi abhidhiyate. Sa nityapi abhidhiyate. She is known as Nitya, eternal. Why? Because always she appears for the purpose of helping Devas. Devanam karya siddhyartham. So in order to destroy asuras like Bhandasura, Mahishasura et al., she appears always. Devakarya Samudyata. Time is up, so we stop for the day. We have made a good start with LALITHA SAHASRANAMA. After going through the important aspects of Purva Bhagam, we have now started with LALITHA SAHASRANAMA Stotram. We have covered 5 out of 1,000 names. The first shloka covered 5 names. The 3 functions of creation, sustenance, and destruction, and followed by her appearance for helping us. We should not take Devakarya Samudyata as only Devas who are stationed in Devaloka. No. All of us, all our karyas also will be helped by Lalita Parameshwari if we pray to her. That is the indication of that. So we stop for the day. We meet again next Saturday for the English lecture. The Tamil lecture is there tomorrow, every Sunday from 7 to 8 similarly. In Tamil, the same Lalita Sahasranama will be covered. Tomorrow we make a start like we started today in Tamil tomorrow. So we meet again.
Namaste, everyone.
Guruji, just a second. I have unmuted everybody. Guruji will have some questions. So if anybody has any questions, they can unmute themselves and ask questions.
Okay.
So Guruji, just there was one question from Rajagopal sir. He wants to know the book that you mentioned or the sutras that you mentioned, which tells us how to split the words in the Lalita Sahasranama. What is the name of the sutras or the book that you mentioned?
The name of the sutra. If you go to Bhaskara Raya's commentary, you will find it properly. Instead of my telling the name,
okay,
you go to Bhaskara Raya's commentary. He is mentioning that clearly. It is known as Talakshara Sutram, and it is being explained in Paribhasha Sutram. The first is Talakshara Sutram. The explanation is in Paribhasha Sutram. Paribhasha means definition. What is mentioned in Talakshara, the splitting of Akshara, is being explained further by giving some definitions by this Vidwan.
If anybody has any question, please unmute yourself. Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. If anybody has any question, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Guruji, Namaskaram. I would just like to ask, is it okay if I refer Lalita Sahasranamam with the book that is been published by Radha Mention? The Ramakrishna Mention has released a book. Actually, the cover will be in brown color. So is it okay if I refer to that book?
What is your question?
For the Lalita Sahasranamam, can I refer to that book and recite my Lalita Sahasranamam?
Can we use that book? That is your question.
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, you can use that book. That is by Anna Subramanian, published by Ramakrishna Matham, correct?
Yes. That's the book.
That's a very good book. Excellent book. You can refer to it. Of course, this Talakshara Sutram, etc., he is not mentioning because there is so much of detail. For that, you have to go to Bhaskara.
Okay, Guruji. Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Any other questions? No more questions, I think, sir.
I think we call off.
Yeah, I just had a question. The Tamil link for tomorrow's lecture will be shared in the group or
WhatsApp group. Everything is provided, all the details in the flyer as well as in the WhatsApp group. Everything is there.
No, he is asking about the link for tomorrow.
Yes, sir, it is there.
It is given. It is given in the flyer, in the Tamil flyer. Yeah, correct. Same link. It is given in the Tamil flyer. It will also come up in our group maybe now tomorrow. नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव श्री जगदम्बिकायै जय जय।